Hi, this is Rose McDonough. I'm a retired home ec teacher, and one of my students said, can you show some one dish meals that I can do in the dorm or in an apartment while I'm going to school? Sure, no problem with that. So I have a skillet with a little bit of oil in it. I've got some chicken ready to go. We're going to make something called Nacho Chicken. What I want to talk about though specifically is this little freezer bag that I have the chicken in. I bought a whole lot of chicken when it was at a great price. I sliced it all up ahead of time and put 2 chicken breasts at a time into a Ziploc bag. Then you lay it flat like this in your freezer, and it doesn't take up very much space, and when you're ready to go, you thaw it out and ta-da, I've got my chicken. So let's hope I don't have too much oil, too much liquid coming in here with the oil. There we go. And this is chicken breast that was boneless. So I'm going to start that cooking. As I start this cooking, I want to go on and explain the rest of it. It's one of those recipes. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? That's how you put it together. What do you like? Those are the other things that you do. I'll put this lid on so it's not quite as loud as I'm talking over here. I started with about 1/2 pound of processed cheese, whichever kind you like. If you like the white cheese, the yellow cheese, whatever. Cubed it up and I put it in here. I've got 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and garlic salt going into here. If you like garlic, add more garlic, of course. Don't add more salt. Put powder in or put minced garlic in. And I also have minced onions here, about 1 tablespoon of minced onions. I could have chopped up an onion, but if you are living in a dorm, you probably don't have onions lying around. Whereas the minced onion's a whole lot easier for you. I have, the recipe calls for 5-ounce can of tomatoes with peppers, with the hot peppers in it, like a rotel. Well, what if you don't have one? Because everybody buys the 10-ounce. Put some away for later, so I divided it up, and of course you can use this later. You can put it on a baked potato, or you can mix it up with more processed cheese if you want to make another dip. I measured it out. Believe it or not, it comes out to be about 2/3 of a cup. So I've got this that I'm adding in here. My recipe also calls for a can of cream of chicken soup, or you can add cream of celery soup, or you can skip it altogether because maybe you want yours to be really spicy, and so you wanted to have the whole can of the rotel. You could have done that, and if you don't have that, throw in, okay, not throw in, but measure in, I don't know, a couple tablespoons, maybe 1/4 of a cup of sour cream if you wanted to, you can add to there. The sour cream will take the spice away a little bit, and that's why some people choose to do that. If you've ever found that you've made something and it's just a little bit too spicy, putting the sour cream on will help a lot to take the bite away from it. I'm not going to add the whole thing. I'm just going to add in about 1/2 of my can because I want to be able to make this recipe again later on. I got a new rubber scraper. Love this one. It fits into my can really nicely. That's why I bought it, because I liked how it angles, and it's a Betty Crocker brand. So I'm going to add that in there. The last and the weirdest ingredients perhaps that we're going to put together is going to be nacho chips or tortilla chips, whatever you have. It says 1/2 bag. Well, I have a family, so I bought mine in a 30-ounce bag. That's a whole lot. So what I had to do is just take some out, put it into a bowl, put a piece of wax paper over top of it, and just started crunching it up. And it says, use that, save a little bit for the top. So I'm going to add some of this in and just save a little bit for the top. If I feel like I need more later, I can always crunch up more because, I have all of this. Mixing this up, which is not going to mix up really well because I've got the chunks of the cheese in there. I'm just trying to get it started. When the meat is no longer pink on the outside, it can be pink on the inside because we're going to cook it for about 20 to 25 minutes until everything is nice and bubbly. And start breaking them up if the pieces are too big. But I sliced mine up and these aren't too bad. You, of course, will decide what works for you. Maybe you like to have some small pieces, which is something that you can do. Say you need to make a dip to take somewhere. Do you hear my cat? My cat loves chicken. She goes crazy for chicken, so she smells chicken cooking. Meow, can you give me some? Actually, I'm not. I don't care that you're an old girl. I'm still not giving you any of my chicken. All right, anyway, let me go back to this chicken here. You can shred the chicken. What you would do is you would use a plastic turner and just keep pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, and you can shred it. Or you can take it out, take 2 forks and shred it. Why would you do that? Because then you're gonna mix all this together and you've gotta go somewhere, and instead of putting the tortillas in there, you serve those on the side as a dip. You can also make this the day ahead of time. Make it the night before, and the next day just quickly put it together, finish putting it together if you want. Cannot have raw chicken in it though. You need to make sure that your chicken is cooked if you're gonna mix it completely. You can, however, get all this ready, or cook the chicken, get it all ready, put it aside, and then the next day heat it up. But that makes sense. Let me make sure I've said that. You can make a dip out of it if you choose to have a dip. You can cook the chicken, mix everything together, put it into a baking pan, and put it aside until the next day and bake it. Or you can put it back into a skillet, or of course what we're going to do is I'm going to finish cooking this up here a little bit. I just have a couple more pieces that are pink. Mix everything together, and then 20-25 minutes later it should be all ready to go. I don't have my temperature up really high. I have it on probably, well, this is 3, which is probably a medium low. All right, that looks pretty good. I don't like to have any of the outside pieces being raw when I'm mixing everything together. I get real weirded out about it. Chicken is chicken. We all know what it's like. I use chicken, I have it on my countertop. I always make sure I wipe it up immediately with a paper towel, throw that paper towel away, sanitize it again. Chicken just, everybody has something that freaks them out, and I'm not like a real thrilled person with raw meat anyway. All right, this doesn't look pretty. I mean, look at it. It's not that attractive, and it doesn't matter. Once we put this all together and the chicken and the cheese melt, we're gonna be happy, happy people. At least I'm going to be a happy person. What I love about this, once you put this lid on it and walk away, set your timer and come back. You do not have to babysit this. So if you have something else to do, you just got home from work, you just got back from class, and you want to go get a quick shower or whatever, you can do that and know that if you have it on low, it's not going to burn. If it's your first time you're making it, I wouldn't leave for a half an hour. I might leave for 10 minutes or so, just because what if you have the temperature up a little bit too high? All right, trying to break this up a little bit. Spread all the cheese out. I'm reserving the rest of my chips for a little bit later. I'm gonna add those on with just the last few minutes left on there. How's that looking? Oh. I like the colors together. I'm always about the colors. I love the orange and the red and the white or the tan of the chicken. Can you hear that? Hardly anything. That's exactly what happened. Once I started adding all these cold things in here, the sound went away. I've mixed that. I've used my rubber scraper, mixed that up as much as I possibly can for right now. The cheese is already starting to melt. And I am going to come back in a few minutes. You'll see the ending part of it. While this is starting to cook, I'm going to go ahead and pull names for today. I feel like I haven't pulled names in a long time. Maybe it's because I haven't. I don't know. All right, put this lid on. This lid, I should mention, doesn't fit exactly on my skillet. Works well enough, and that's all that matters to me. Gonna wipe my fingers off here, and let's pull some names today. Whose name is it? I always like if it's somebody I've heard of before. M.K. Colvin, C-O-L-V-I-N. Thank you for being a subscriber. I appreciate that. And another name, Julie and Rod. I don't know who Julie and Rod are either, but I appreciate that you're a subscriber. Please leave comments if you have tried it and you say, wow, I really like this. It was too spicy for me, so I added something. It wasn't spicy enough. That way other people, when they are trying it, they know some substitutions that they themselves can do. As you can see, it's thickening up very nicely, and I'm just going to finish it off with putting my leftover tortilla chips on top of it that I have reserved, And then everybody in my house is complaining they want to eat it, and it's been about 20 minutes. Once 20 minutes is up, I'm going to mix it one last time. I'm going to take the remaining chips. I'll put the remaining chips on top of it. This should be bubbly by then, and then I'll just turn the heat off, put the lid on, and just let it sit for another 2 or 3 minutes with those chips on top of it. And it's going to be a nice dish. You can, if you wanted to, shred up some lettuce that you're serving on the side. You can put this into a tortilla if you want to with some shredded lettuce. The ideas are endless. This is just a one skillet meal that's so simple to put together for anyone. Thanks so much. Please come back again.